So this is the 1830 GMT edition of the Baby Angel Geronimo editions of Khoodeelaar television channel, part A. 1830 GMT, Tuesday, 29th of November 2022. This will be probably another short edition, but the point is that the length is less important than the substance. And the substance is that a man called Mahmud Ali, where it's a local sound, the local pronunciation of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was a man with a unique enterprise on the eastern bank of the river Kuyara, also spelled as Kushiyara, in Silot, in the border area actually between what is now Bangladesh and what is now India's Assam. Now, Mahmud Ali was a grocer. I think he was the original grocer long before Edward Heath in England became known as the grocer. Now, this grocer, Mahmud Ali, as people would call him, was the grotesque, the most gross of grocers, completely devoid of any consideration, compassion, care, solidarity. As far as is known or was known, the man didn't have a kind of family, didn't, as far as I can recall, he didn't have a wife, he didn't have any children. And I think he lived in the shop on the river Kuyara. And the reason why I'm talking about him today, after decades, is because he exemplified, he personified, Mahmud Ali, he really personified the corruption, the cruelty, the greed, the depravity, the lack of compassion and lack of solidarity with his fellow beings. Now, I can't remember the exact incidents or the details of his passing, when he did pass. But he, of course, is no longer around. He did pass away. And when he did pass, I don't believe he, I don't believe he was mourned by many people. I don't think. That is number one. Number two is that I don't think that anyone really understood how much loots he had collected, gathered over the many, many years of his business. Now, what did he specialize in? Muhammad Ali was physically quite stout. Not a big sized individual, but he was a stout, physically stout, and was, his normal attitude and outlook would be accurate to say, it would be accurate to say that he was disrespectful to people generally, and he was contemptuous whenever it came to the issue of people having money or not having money. It seems that he, Muhammad Ali, on the eastern bank of the river Kuyara in the Silot region, doing business. And that's all he did. He did business. Now, why did he do business and why did I think about him today? I have thought about Muhammad Ali many times in the last 50 years, 60 years, but I have not thought about him in the way that I have actually gone on to put on the record my thoughts about Muhammad Ali. I don't believe that I had any conversation with him that lasted more than a sentence. Because I do remember that Muhammad Ali spoke, but he only spoke about his goods, the items that he sold. More importantly, the items that he kind of used to exploit people who were forced to go to his shop. Let me explain this. That was, I'm talking about the definitely 1950s. So Muhammad Ali would only get customers in the evenings. Why? Because there was no other shop around or open. And the deeper, the darker the night, the more excited he was at the prospect of a potential victim appearing at his shop. And he would fleece them. Muhammad Ali would fleece that lone customer. Now, if the customer ever happened to be a customer from one of the surrounding villages and came to his shop without any money and begged him to let him have some goods and he would bring the money during the day, Muhammad Ali would scold that individual. Muhammad Ali would abuse that individual. And Muhammad Ali would go through the phantom history of that individual's family, even though he had no idea who these individuals' family were. So Muhammad Ali was Satan, absolute evil. Although he did carry a kind of Muslim beard, his behavior was Satan. And anyone who made the mistake of begging him to let him buy something on credit would never ever in the rest of their lives live that experience down or overcome that emotional torture. I witnessed too many of those incidents. Remember what I said about the people, that the other people came to the shop and I was one of the observers of the shop. I did also visit the shop as a late night shopper and so on. But my experience of witnessing Muhammad Ali take away the skin, literally the skin of the individual going through hard times and needing a kind of overnight allowance, like time credit for 24 hours. Muhammad Ali would never let that person ever forget what he put him through. It's always, I don't remember any woman being present in his shop during the night. I don't think anyone would come to Muhammad Ali's shop. Any woman would come to Muhammad Ali's shops during the night. So the man who came to Muhammad Ali's shop came and did that as an experience in hell. Now, why am I talking about him? Yes, because this man was a Muslim, and all his victims are Muslims. So his behavior did not show that Muslim solidarity existed. The Muslim compassion for other Muslims existed. Now, this was an evil man, but he was a Muslim doing evil to other Muslims. So that is Muhammad Ali, but that's the beginning. I'll have lots more to say about Muhammad Ali in the context of the village and the context of the abject absence of solidarity and compassion. This edition of the Khoodeelaar television channel is, of course, as I said at the beginning, is going to be a brief one. Muhammad Ali was only one item. It's not the only item that we're going to broadcast on this edition. There was this shop in New Market in Dhaka, in the capital city of East Pakistan then and Bangladesh now. There was a New Market is a shop like a shopping center. What can I compare that with in London? New Market is a small kind of thing compared to the kind of equivalents in London. But New Market was really full of shops, clothes shops, sari shops, and so on, for expensive kind of purchases. And one shop that I discovered by accident existed in New Market was owned by Shafiq. Was it Shafiq Uddin, Shafiq Ahmad, Shafiq Rahman? I cannot remember the last name. But this Shafiq was a contemporary of mine, and he came from the village of Nogor. Nogor in Dahadukkin, which is not far from our village. The Shafiq turned out to be a shopkeeper. I had no idea he had. And it appeared that they were his family from Nagore had enough money to own and run this shop, which was in terms of the capital needed, was quite a wealthy enterprise. And I still remember Shafiq's face. Shafiq's face was a very sociable, friendly face. And in comparison with, what's his name, Muhammad Ali, any visitor going into Shafiq's shop would be greeted with a smile that was very, very infectious. I wonder what happened to Shafiq. And I think I remember there were many our contemporaries in his shop at the same time as I was visiting that. And Shafiq actually bought tea and snacks for all of us. That is the least he could do, and he did. And then he invited us to visit his shop again. I don't remember if we had the opportunity to visit his shop again or not. There was another contemporary. This one was actually an academic contemporary from the same year at the Dahadukin School, Dottorail High School, who is, where did he come from? He come from the northern side of Gulabganj, and his name was Manzoorul Haq. I wonder what happened to Manzoorul Haq. Is he alive? If he is, what is he doing? What has he been up to? Manzoorul Haq was one of the one of the boys from the Dottoral School, and I think he was also a student at the MC College, and then he went on to Dhaka as well. Now I don't know where Manzoorul Haq ended up in Dhaka when he went to Dhaka, but he was probably one of the socially most connected boys of our generation. Manzoorul Haq was one of the most socially forward and socially connected boys, and he was very popular among the boys. Now, I wonder what happened to him. Now, what a contrast Shafiq was with Muhammad Ali. Now, it is Shafiq's house in Nagaur, I later discovered, to the eastern side of the Fukoir, the big pond, was bushes that had, the first time I saw the bunnies, lived in the bushes there. When I was a child, like I was 7 or 8 year old, and I was walking behind my uncles, my father, they were going to Dagadukin, and I suddenly saw this magic. I had never seen anything so beautiful. This baby bunny appeared from the bushes, and I was stunned. So today I saw a kitten. Now, for anyone who is listening for the first time, kitten is the generic word that I use for all kitten of all ages. Now, today I saw a kitten about 3 hours ago, I would say, and it was like running back into the kind of building, and it saw me, and I talked to it, and it stopped and it came to a halt. And for a new encounter, that kitten was quite unusual. It stopped and it almost fell about looking for a tummy rub. That was absolutely unexpected. Now, I cannot give him a tummy rub because I've got pain in my fingers. So I didn't want to give him a tummy rub. And secondly, I didn't want to give him any kind of dirty. If my fingers were dirty, I didn't want him to get any dirt from my fingers. Not that there were anything, to my knowledge, dirty, but that is what I didn't want to give him or her. and it kept kind of kind of positioning itself, trying to kind of position itself and put itself up for the tummy rub. Now I was absolutely thrilled, and I appreciate the kitten doing that, and I hope it is safe because I had to move on to catch a bus, and the baby kitten was still doing the kind of, what was it doing? It was doing the tummy rub, positioning itself on the glove and looking for somebody to give him or her a rubbing. And I hope it is safe. There's another kitten that appears to live in the same area where I have moved recently on the 23rd of November 2022. Now that kitten looks like a kitten that was called the leader kitten among the three kittens that K. Jordan and I raised in Brick Lane. And that kitten, too, responded to my call. It did respond. And then it kind of paused a while in the sport and then went back. And I said to a person that knows the kitten because of the area where it is, and I said to this woman that I just worry about this kitten going into the main road. And she said he doesn't go into the main road. And that is a reassuring statement. I just hope that the kitten stays that way. So, going back to Muhammad Ali, now there is no comparison, is there? Muhammad Ali is like hell, and these kittens are like heaven. Absolute heaven, these kittens. Two of them I saw today briefly. And one of the internet accounts that well, quite a few people have Twitter accounts on kittens. And some of them say that they don't want to go to heaven if there were no kittens in heaven. I mean, that is a very powerful and absolutely lovely thought. So there are so many kittens, and let's hope that the heaven is full of kittens and squirrels and bunnies and all the other baby animals that the depraved human beings in this world attack and violate and persecute and harass and chase and make kind of unsafe. What do these human beings have in their heart that makes them be cruel to these wonderful, amazing creatures? I mean, the more I talk about the kittens and the bunnies and the squirrels, the more I think of what can I do, what I can do, what can I do. Just spread the word through the world for human beings to love the babies, animals, and creatures and respect them and love them and make them safe. This is the Khoodeelaar television channel, Baby Angel Geronimo editions of the Khoodeelaar television channel. This is part A, 18:30 hours GMT on Tuesday, the 29th of November 2022. The baby angel Geronimo is a baby angel Geronimo, the bestest baby angel Geronimo in the whole world. The baby angel Geronimo is the bestest baby angel Geronimo in the whole world. And I am very privileged that I'm able to, although short, brief bits, I'm able to talk about baby angel Geronimo because the baby angel Geronimo has been witnessing some of human beings' worst behavior that can only be found in hell. And the personification of hell is, of course, the violator of baby angel Geronimo, Boris Johnson. And the other personification of hell, as experienced as witnessed by the baby angel Geronimo, are the people that actually cheer the likes of Boris Johnson. The cheering is not happening, at least not in the last 24 hours, about another leader, China's Xi, who has been the subject of protests by many of the Chinese protesters, who, for the first time in the history of China, have called for his resignation. That is what I think. That is what I wanted to say. Would have liked to have said, but that particular bit disappeared from the beginning. So the Chinese regime is coming under protests from ordinary Chinese people within China in a way that the regime has not come under attacks. I think since before the Cultural Revolution. I think this is the. I think the best way for the people in this area to accommodate a socially acceptable kind of activities would be to provide social amenities for them to actually use while taking part in demonstrations. This is something that I'm saying in anticipation of demonstrations against the Chinese authorities that will take place in the very near future, very near future. We should bring an end to this particular one in half an hour. I think this is a half an hour long program, and most of the items that we normally would have updated on have remained unmentioned so far. We shall compensate for this in the next editions. This is 1900 GMT.